root causes of fibroids that nobody talks about. This is really important because I always address like the physical parts of fibroids, the physical root causes, the physically healing fibroids. But a lot of women don't know, and what they don't realize is that when you have fibroids, it's not just a physical condition. It's also an emotional condition. When we have fibroids, we're also holding on to a lot of emotional blockages in the body, right? These physical tumors also represent emotional tumors as well, okay? So we're going to talk about that today. Welcome in. Be sure to let me know if you're new, if you're watching me for the first time, put a 1 in the chat. Let me know as well if you're currently dealing with fibroids. Welcome in. If you're watching from YouTube, hi and welcome. Be sure to subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and be sure to click the thumbs up button, okay? So for those that are watching on the replay as well. Alrighty, so let's get started. Hold on, give me 1 second before we get started. Again, let me know where you guys are watching from. For those that are new, welcome. Hold on, let me put this on mute. Okay, I just want to make sure that, okay, there we go. Okay, ladies, let's get started. Hey, Brittany, welcome. It's been a while. Hope you are doing well. Okay, so let's talk about it. Okay, as you guys are coming in, let me know where you guys are watching from. Let me know what city, state, country, whatever, where you guys are watching from. I would love to know. Okay, thank you guys so much for being here. And yes, let's get the likes up. Thank you, Brittany, for liking the video. I appreciate it, so we can get more women in here to address this topic because it's really important. Again, a lot of women don't understand and know the root causes of fibroids, right? What actually caused these things to thrive in the body. And if you don't understand and know the root causes, it's going to be really difficult for you to completely get rid of your fibroids. It's going to be very difficult for you to get lasting results, okay? So let's talk about it. For those that are watching me for the first time, hi and welcome. My name is Sasha. I am a holistic womb specialist, okay? I've been doing this for years and I love what I do. I partner with women to help them dissolve their fibroids as well as reverse chronic reproductive health conditions, okay? Through our womb detoxification framework that helps women target the root cause of these issues, of fibroids, of endometriosis, of ovarian cysts, of PCOS, adenomyosis, and all these other womb conditions, okay? I've worked with women all over the world, as well as I've had clients literally all over the world, because this is a global issue when it comes to fibroids, when it comes to womb issues. And I've also, like I said, helped hundreds of women, not just to get rid of fibroids, not just to shrink fibroids, but also eliminate their fibroids, okay? We have these testimonials to prove it. As a matter of fact, real quick before we get started, one of the ladies that took my courses, okay, I was following up with her to see where she was as far as her healing journey. She took it earlier this year, and she said that her fibroid literally went from the size, her largest fibroid, the size of a football. I need y'all to know, she didn't know the exact size, but she said that my fibroid was the size of a football. And right now, the last time she went to get her ultrasound, it was 6 centimeters. I'm not sure exactly when she checked after she took my course, but oh my God, I was in shock. I was like, okay, we 6 centimeters down. Her largest fibroid is now 6 centimeters. And that is, we 6 centimeters down. Her largest fibroid is now 6 centimeters. And that is, we 6 centimeters down. Her largest fibroid is now 6 centimeters. And that is from being emotional part together. They're either not successful or they don't have lasting results. Okay, so it's really important that you understand and know that. So let's talk about, what are the 3 emotional states that actually feed fibroids? Okay, this is really important because, again, a lot of women that have fibroids, they're very successful, they've achieved a lot on paper, they've achieved a lot in their life. However, unfortunately, right, there's a lot of suppression. They're overworking themselves. They're overwhelmed. They're stressed out. Hey, Marsh, welcome. Let me know if you can hear me perfectly on YouTube. Okay, so let's talk about the 3 emotional states that feed fibroids. Okay, and for those that are coming in, I'm also, if you missed any part of the live stream, just know that the replay is always going to be on YouTube, okay? So be sure to also subscribe to my YouTube channel, all right? The link is in my bio to subscribe, all right? So, and if you're on my TikTok, tap on this screen so we can get more likes, so more women can join this conversation, or it can push it out to more women. Because listen, and same thing with YouTube, click the thumbs up button. Because listen, we need more women understanding and knowing their bodies. Too many women are suffering with fibroids, and unfortunately, they don't understand and know that there's things that they're doing in their lives to contribute to it, to that actually developed it. And this is not to blame anybody, but this is so that you can know that you have control over your body. You know that your body can actually heal, right? So, what are the 3 emotional states that feed fibroids? Okay, let's talk about it. So the archetype of the strong woman, the strong woman archetype. Okay, you guys already know what this looks like. This is the person that pours into everybody but doesn't pour into themselves. This is the person, she's showing up for everybody else. She's doing everything, whether it's her family, whether it's her, her friends, whether it's her employees, or her employer. She's showing up, whether it's in her business, she's showing up for everybody else, right? This is one of the most popular archetypes I see, right, for women that work with me, because I work with women that are, that are doing well, that are high achieving, that are doing well in their lives. On paper, they've achieved a lot in their lives. However, they're overworked, they're stressed, right? They're overwhelmed, they're living in overwhelmed, right? And nobody can thrive living that type of life. They're living in survival mode, right? So this is the strong woman archetype, right? This is a woman that tends to get fibroids the most. Like she's pouring into everybody. Put a 1 in the chat if that's you. Put a 1 in the chat. Don't be shy if that's you. She's pouring into everybody else but herself. I did a video yesterday, and I said that, and I made a comment, and I was saying that, put a 1. Okay, so the consistent queen. Yeah, thank you for, so this is a lot of women. And I did a video yesterday that says that women that have fibroids and endometriosis and really other womb issues, they tend to be chronic people pleasers, okay? So this is the woman that she's suppressing her exhaustion. She's exhausted, she's frustrated, she's in pain, but she's suppressing that to stay productive, right? Because she wants to be productive, she wants to do everything for everybody else. She wants to make sure everything's done on time, the projects, the reports are done on time, everything. She puts everything before herself. Everything before her health, okay? I have sent for a scan for my spotty. I'm so frustrated. What do you mean? I have been sent for a scan for my spotty. I'm a scan for what exactly? Because you're spotting? She suppressed she suppresses her own emotions, her own exhaustion, her own overwhelm. She will try to push that to the back burner and continue working, continue being productive. This is like I said, the strong woman archetype. A lot of women fall under this, right? But this is the person that their body starts to break down. And then a lot of times they wonder why. So when your body's internalizing this suppression, it internalizes as chronic tension, as stress. So your body will be under stress. When we talk about fibroids, ladies, it's not just, like I said, it's not just emotional, it's not just physical, it's also emotional. But when we talk about fibroids, it's not just the sex hormones that are out of balance. It's also before the sex hormones can become out of balance, the foundational hormones, cortisol and insulin, have to be dysregulated, right? It's emotional and physical, absolutely. So the foundational hormones have to be dysregulated before we even get to the sex hormones, right? So if you have fibroids, you know that also the cortisol and the insulin are dysregulated, okay? That has to happen before fibroids can form, before tumors can form in the body. So your body's in a state of chronic stress when you're dealing with fibroids, right? So we have to get the body to feel safe enough to heal. Your body cannot heal if it doesn't feel safe, okay? So this has to be addressed. Now, what's another archetype of woman that tends to get fibroids, right? And some of you guys could be all 3. Let me know, and and at the end of this, when I'm done describing this, let me know. So, unprocessed grief and heartbreak. This is the girl that maybe she has a broken heart. She's been through several breakups, she hates, tends to be the woman that hates men, right? Or she's been through several, divorce. She's been through several heartbreaks with men. divorces. She's been through several toxic relationships, right? Or she's in one now. Or it could be the woman that has unprocessed grief. It could be the woman that, for example, I see this a lot, women in their late 40s or even older, that they're grieving not being able to have a child, right? Because they didn't get married or whatever happened, right? So they're grieving that process of not being able to get married and have children. So that could be a constant thing that they're dealing with. It could be that. It could be you've experienced loss, whether it's through family or whether it was through actual, it could even be a miscarriage. Like you've actually experienced these things and you're harboring them and you're carrying them, right? And you haven't worked through them. It could be betrayal. It could be rejection. It could be disappointments that never really got processed, never got worked through, right? So your emotions, when it comes to emotions, they're supposed to move through us. Emotions are energy in motion. We're not supposed to hold. When it comes to the negative emotions, we're not supposed to hold on to them, right? We're not supposed to suppress them as well, right? So this is, again, because like I always say, the body keeps score and your womb acts as an emotional vault. So the body will convert this emotional pain that you're harboring, that you're feeling. It's not about not going through pain, because we're all going to go through pain. It's about you holding on to it. It's about you wearing it or you suppressing it, not processing through it, right? So what happens is that the body converts this emotional pain that you're holding on to. It converts that into inflammation. It converts that into actual tumors, right? Into chronic tension. Ellie said, Ellie, something's wrong. Let me know. Something's wrong with YouTube. Let me know. No broken heart is all. Don't want a child. Also, disappointment, still a giant fibroid. Okay, I'm not saying so. That's why I'm going through the 3 archetypes, son. You must have just come in, just listen, right? That's why I'm going through. This is number 2 if you're just coming in. So be sure to listen to the rest of them. I talked about the strong woman archetype, taking on everything, right? Taking on everything. You've overworking, you're not pouring into yourself, you're not taking care of your health. Listen, I've been doing this for a very long time, right? If you have fibroids, you've neglected yourself somehow, some way, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. This is why a tumor was able to form in your body. It does not just come out of the blue. In case you're new, it does not just come out of the blue, okay? So there's that. So when you too busy, when you're holding on to these emotions, when you're holding on to this pain, when you're holding on to stuff, or when you're suppressing it and denying, right? When you're suppressing it, when you haven't worked through it, either way, it's going to be toxic. It's going to create inflammation in the body. When you suppress stuff, right, as well, because some of us have, again, I was that person too. I have ego. I'm fine. I'm not holding on to anything, but I was. Because when you suppress stuff, you get so used to that, right? You don't know that there's things a lot of people don't know how to tune inward. They don't know that there's things there that need to be addressed. These fibroids are proving that. Okay, hey, how can you help me, please? I'm pregnant. I also have fibroids. Yeah, absolutely. This is what I do. This is how I work with my clients, in our programs, or you can take a course that will help you dissolve your fibroids. However, things do need to be modified when you're pregnant, right? You're not gonna things need to be modified when you're pregnant. So yeah, I absolutely can. Okay, so be sure to join our email list as well. And shameless plug for those that are just coming in, we do have a workshop, our 3-day fibroid elimination workshop coming up this week. Let me not forget to mention that. This Friday through Sunday, our fibroid elimination workshop. Listen to me clearly. Can you guys put a 1 in the chat? I see you guys watching on YouTube, but can you guys hear me properly? Somebody said that something was wrong, but they never said anything else. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me properly on YouTube. We do have a fibroid elimination workshop, a 3-day fibroid elimination workshop where I'll be working with you through Zoom Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? Eastern Standard Time. Now, if you're not able to join, because somebody said that they will be working during that time, you still get access to the replays. So we actually have the early bird price where you can purchase that now at the early bird price. The early bird price will be the last day for the early bird price is tomorrow. So it's $200 to work with me for 3 days to help you eliminate your fibroids. Okay. It's going to be extremely, extremely, extremely educational. You're going to have lifetime access to the replay. So this is something, again, that you can rewatch over and over again. Okay. So Be sure to register. The link is in my bio if you're watching from TikTok. If you are watching from YouTube, the link is in my description box. That's our 3-day fibroid elimination workshop, okay? I want to ask if it can affect the baby or no. Do you mean the actual fibroid? It can. If you're talking about the actual fibroid, it can. So you have to be careful, right? You have to be careful. And I don't want you to be in a state of stress about that, because stress makes it worse. Stress grows fibroids, but you do have to make changes. Changes have to be made, right? It does have to be modified because you're pregnant. You can't do a very strict regimen when you're pregnant, but you still can. I wouldn't try to shrink fibroids when I'm pregnant. What I would do is try to create a healthy environment as much as I can so the fibroids don't continue to grow. We don't want fibroids growing when you're pregnant, okay? And for the ones that aren't pregnant, right, that want to get pregnant, that have fibroids, get your body healthy first. I know some women don't know, or the pregnancy just happens, right? But for women that have fibroids, that know they have fibroids and these womb issues, get your body healthy first before getting pregnant. Shrink those fibroids. Get your hormones in balance before getting pregnant, right? We have to, that's one thing that I always say, because a lot of women have fibroids, know they have fibroids, and are trying to get pregnant. That does not make any sense, okay? On TikTok, can we get the likes to 1,000? we're like halfway there. Let's get the likes to 1,000. All you have to do is tap on the screen, okay? Tap on the screen. They can, Charlotte. They can grow, absolutely, because you have to understand, depending on what type of lifestyle that you're living, they can, because you have to understand that your body, your hormone levels are higher when you're pregnant. So yeah. A lot of women their fibroids grow really, you have to I'm not trying to scare you, so I have to be careful how I answer that. But anyway, let's go on to number 3. We're talking about the emotional root causes of fibroids, okay? And these are the emotional states that feed fibroids. We talked about number 1 was the strong woman archetype. We talked about the woman that has unprocessed grief and heartbreak, right? That, it could even be, this could be grief from your career, your life not going the way you want it to go. You could be stuck in a job that you hate, right? Or a career that you hate, but you've wanted to do something else, but you feel stuck. So this can even, that's a form of grief, right? If you feel as though you can't change your life, if you are stuck in a job or career that your heart is not there, right? You really want to do something else, or you really want to move somewhere else, right? But you feel stuck. So that's another form of grief, right? So the third one, the chronic caretaker. This tends to be the people pleaser, right? The one that has all these responsibilities. Sometimes she's a mom, sometimes she's a wife, sometimes she's both, right? And I'm not saying that that it tends to be, it could be a single woman as well that tends to take on the responsibility of her family. It could be the oldest daughter in the family that takes on everybody's responsibilities, right? The parent, you take care of sick parents. You have so many responsibilities, right? But you're a chronic caregiver, but you're not taking care of yourself. You're not pouring into yourself. You cannot be an efficient caregiver if you're not pouring correctly into yourself, okay? The life is resetting and looping like a at football. Oh, what? The live is resetting and looping. Oh my gosh. Hopefully when it plays back on YouTube, it's clear. Okay, but y'all can come to TikTok. I'm sorry, come to TikTok for it to be more clear. The link is in my description box for the TikTok link. I'm also live on TikTok. Okay, so and I'm sorry about that. That sucks. Okay, so if it doesn't, I will post the replay of the live. If it doesn't register on the live stream, I'll post the replay later. All right. Okay, so you guys can watch this. I want you guys to watch the full replay. All right. So the chronic caregiver has the habit of taking care of everybody else but herself, right? She ignores her own needs. She puts her own needs to the back burner. She pushes herself to the back burner, right? She leads to, I don't want to say another word. I understand it, so it won't trigger the algorithm. I get it. I get it. So this leads to, when you push your needs to the back burner, when you are a chronic caregiver, this leads to adrenal fatigue. This leads to hormonal imbalances. This leads to your body being in a state of stress. This leads to suppression. You're suppressing your own needs to fulfill other people's needs. So this also leads to mineral deficiencies in the body. So your body's in a state of stress and tension as well. So you're chronically overgiving to everybody else, but you haven't poured into yourself properly, right? So it's important for you to realize that you being a chronic caregiver, you being a people pleaser does not serve you, it does not serve your health. This tends to be the woman that gets fibroids or other womb issues. She's over responsibility and sometimes, yes, I know, for women that are, I've worked with women that are also moms, that are wives, that do have a lot on their plate, but they're able to I also help them as well care for themselves, right? First, because we can't properly care for others if we're not caring for ourselves. And you're really no good to nobody when you're dealing with hormonal imbalances, when you're bleeding half to death, when you are suffering inside. You're really no good to nobody. So that's important. So if that is you, if you hear yourself in that, we have to, when the body's depleted, because the womb will be depleted as well. The womb will be depleted as well. You have to understand that. So there's no healing in depleting yourself. You can't, and a lot of, some women are in stressful, like they have a stressful lifestyle and they think that they can heal like that, right? Because they make some changes. That's not true. So if you're under lots of stress and you're not managing your stress or completely getting rid of your stress, right? Unfortunately, your body is not going to be able to heal. It's not going to be able to sustain healing. You're not going to see lasting results. You may feel a little bit better, but you're not going to see lasting results when we talk about getting rid of an actual fibroid, okay? So just keep that in mind. So what does emotional healing actually look like? Let's talk about it, okay? It's much more, because a lot of people get stuck with the affirmations, with all of this stuff. What is emotional healing when you have fibroids? What does that actually look like? It's deeper than affirmations, y'all, right? It's deeper than just listening to some subliminals. It's deeper than, just trying to be positive thinking even. It's deeper than that. Yes, these things are good. You can use them, but it's about regulating your body in a way so emotions can move through you. And when I say emotions, I mean those emotions that you're suppressing, those emotions that you've suppressed, that you've held on to, so that they can move through you. You can start to release them, right? Those traumas, you can start releasing them, right? Because emotions are supposed to be energy and motion. We're not supposed to hold on to this stuff energetically, right? When we talk about negative emotions. And this is the example I always use, because human beings and our brains do this to protect us, tend to hold on to negative emotions more so than positive emotions. They tend to hold on to negative experiences more so than positive experiences. And let me give you an example, right? For example, if somebody, let's say gifts you with something, right? Maybe some money, let's say $1,000. If somebody gifts you, and I always use this example, but if somebody gifts you with $1,000, right? Just no strings attached, here's $1,000. Whoever it is, friend, family member, whoever, right? You're going to be happy, of course. You're going to be happy. You're going to be really happy probably for like a couple of days until you use it to pay off a bill or put it in your savings account, whatever, right? You're going to be, but that happiness will wear off. It could be a couple of days, it could be a week. The happiness will eventually wear off, right? Just like when people get paid, that happiness, you may feel happy for like a day or two, but that happiness eventually wears off. However, if somebody takes $1,000 from you, steals from you, that negative emotion, that betrayal, that depending on, not depending on who it is, if somebody does that to you in general, right? You're going to feel that. And that's a lot of people, some people even, I've heard people that maybe somebody stole from them, maybe an ex, somebody, and even a year, they're still in pain about it, right? Because that betrayal, that, oh my goodness, somebody stole from me, right? If you've ever had something stolen from your house, that pain kind of stays with you. So you see how we will hold on to the negative, right? This is what our brains will do. But the positive we'll forget about. We'll let it go. You want to flip that. You keep freezing. Really? Oh my God. Even on, damn. Even on TikTok. Okay. Damn. I thought that at least we would, is it good now? Let me see if I can take it off. I wonder if I take it off Wi-Fi, would it help? Oh. Put a 1 in the chat if I'm freezing. I think I am, because people keep clicking off. Put a 1 in the chat if I'm freezing. Put a 1 in the chat if I'm freezing. This damn Wi-Fi. Put a 1 in the chat if I'm freezing. Please, please, please help me out, y'all. Everybody's quiet. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me perfectly on TikTok. Body reacts so good once you let it go. Absolutely. Brittany, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, you can hear me on TikTok. Okay, good, good. Because I was wondering. I was like, usually the live is good on TikTok. Okay, so it looks like it's just on. Perfectly fine. Okay, so the person that said I'm freezing, go back out and come back in. You sound good now. Okay, good. Was I ever freezing? For those that have stayed the whole time, was I ever freezing on TikTok? Let me know, but thank you. Okay, so what does emotional healing look like when we have fibroids, right? What does that look like, right? It's much more than just, like I said earlier, saying positive affirmations. It's so much deeper than that. It's so much deeper than just positive affirmations. No, it's about regulating your emotions. It's about you want your body has to feel safe enough to heal. Your body's not going to heal if your emotions are all over the place. If you're holding on to negative emotions, it's not going to happen, right? So it's important that you understand that. So emotions are supposed to move through us. So you have to learn how to, and this is what we're going to teach in my workshop coming up on Friday to Saturday and Sunday. How do we release emotionally, right? How do we release all of these things that we've been holding on to, we've been suppressing? How do we start to work through them? How do we start to release them so that we can be free? Because once you start to release this stuff, you're going to feel so much freer energetically. You're going to feel so much lighter. It's not just about physically healing. It's also about emotional healing. We're again, talking about both at the workshop and how to work through this stuff. And so if you're not at the 3-day workshop, you're going to be missing out. Okay. So it's about these emotions that you've suppressed. It's about actually as well, the emotions that you're holding on to. We have to start addressing them. The ones that you suppress and the ones that you're harboring. Because a lot of women, like I said, they're walking around wearing their trauma, like I always say, and you want to start to release that stuff. You cannot hold your trauma. You have to start to work through it and release it, right? You cannot hold your negative experiences. You cannot hold the things that you've been through. And this is not for me to be insensitive. This is for me to be, that stuff will make you sick. If you continue holding on to your trauma, holding on to the resentment, holding on to the anger, holding on to the pain, it will make you sick. And this is why your body, it will be extremely hard for your body to heal, right? So these negative emotions do form tumors, ladies. Have you ever heard that cancer is energetically, spiritually is unforgiveness, is holding on to grudges? Yeah. These things make you sick. Hey, Lady KP. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. So healing creates safety in your body. When you're healing, right, it's important for your body to feel safe enough to heal. Your body has to feel safe enough to heal. Your nervous system has to be regulated for you to heal. You've heard it before. Yeah. Cancer, you guys can look it up. Spiritually, that's what cancer really represents. Okay? So when the body feels safe, it can start to release this stored negative emotions. It can start to release this stored energy, this tension, this stress. It can start to release that. And the healing starts to accelerate, right? The healing starts to accelerate. Okay? So it's important that you have to work through this stuff. Trying to heal from polyps and fibroids. Oh, that is very possible. It's very, very possible. KP, you're in the right place, by the way. We're talking about the emotional root causes of the fibroids, right? What's going on in the body? What's going on emotionally when we have fibroids? Make sure, for those of you that's trying to get rid of fibroids, heal from fibroids and other reproductive health conditions like polyps, I don't care if it's endometriosis, adenomyosis, heavy bleeding, make sure that you guys register for, click the link in my bio to get on my email list. Because when you get on my email list, you get a 7-day fibroid healing truth series. And you also know what we got going on as well. You'll be in the community, because I won't be on TikTok forever. And make sure that you also subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. I want to say this as well. Yes, she has so much info. Yes, thank you so much. I want to say this as well for those that are coming in. We did have one of our clients, right, that took my courses early this year, that said that she went from a fibroid the size of a football. I don't even know how many centimeters that is. Maybe around 20, maybe more. The fibroid the size of a football. It went from that to now it's 6 centimeters. And that was literally, she just started working with me earlier this year. So it hasn't even been just a few months. So I don't even know when she went to get an ultrasound. I don't know if it was 2 months after she started working with me. I don't know if it was 3 months, but it went from a fibroid the size of a football. Now it's down to 6 centimeters. The other day, we had our client that was working with me in our 2-month intensive that said that her fibroid went from 7 centimeters. This is 2 months of working with me. In what was it? In February through April. It went from 7 centimeters to 3 centimeters. The 3 centimeters was back in May. This is the last time she got her ultrasound to check. So what does that mean? That means that we're 5 months away from May. We're in November. So I told her those fibroids are probably gone by now, because she's she's still on her journey, right? So I told her next time you check, I'm sure those fibroids will be gone, right? So we've had amazing testimonials from women that are working with me in my program, to women that are taking my courses. I've helped hundreds of women all over the world, not just shrink their fibroids, but completely get rid of their fibroids. And I love what I do. I love helping women heal. I've saved so many women from having a hysterectomy, right? From taking out their wombs, right? So let's talk about how can emotional healing accelerate you healing your body, healing your womb? How, right? Clients who do the emotional work, this is when I work with clients, I also take them through the emotional work as well, not just the physical healing, not just, hey, change your diet, take some herbs. No, we don't do all that. We get to the root cause of the problem. We get to the root cause also too, not just the physical root cause, also the emotional root cause, right? So we do that alongside the emotional work, the physical root cause, the emotional root causes, the energetic root cause, and we work through that. That's important. You have to bridge both, right? Because if you have fibroids and you don't address the emotional part, what's going to happen is that you're going to go back to your bad habits. Right? All this stuff that you suppressed, and your body's not going to be able to fully heal, because your body is still holding tension and stress and anger and pain. How can your body heal in that state? It can't, right? Your body cannot heal in a state of stress. So women that bridge both, that I work with, that bridge both, that do the work as far as emotionally, physically, they're able to see faster fibroid reduction. They're able to see faster results and lasting results as well, right? So this is why I love what I do, because it's not only about making you feel lighter physically, also lighter energetically, emotionally as well, right? So when women get into this state, they get more aligned with their bodies, more aligned with their natural feminine essence, right? They get more aligned with their hormones, more in alignment, and they're able to attract more into their life, bring more prosperity, bring more abundance, bring more opportunities. Things that were stuck start to open up for them, right? So this work is very deep. This is why womb healing is such a beautiful process. It's a return back to self, okay? So those that are watching from YouTube, put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. If it's still resetting, let me know. So during the emotional work also helps heal your hormones as well. Now, of course, the physical work has to be done as well, but you cannot balance your hormones when your body's in a state of stress. Okay, that's important for you to realize and to know. So what are the emotional patterns that end when you're on your womb healing journey, when you're doing the work? Let's talk about the emotional patterns that end. First of all, you stop over giving and start actually receiving. You start to receive more in your life. You start to, like I said, you open yourself up to more abundance. People start doing for you energetically, because when you're stuck as a people pleaser and because a lot of times all the time, people pleaser are doing this out of fear, out of lack, out of scarcity. They feel as though the people in their life won't love them if they don't overdo, right? I'm not saying not to do things for people, but you need to pour into your own cup first. You got to take care of you first. So you start to perceive more into your life energetically, and then also too, you no longer start to confuse struggle and living in survival mode with strength. You end that right now. You start to live, like I said, more in alignment with your body, right? More in alignment with who you are as a woman. You start to be able to be more aligned with your intuition. Okay. So you stop confusing overdoing, overgiving, over responsibility with strength. Okay, and so if you're one of those people that pride yourself on being a strong woman, stop right now. Stop it right now. You're killing yourself. Stop it right now. Another thing too, a lot of women that have fibroids, they're operating out of a frequency of fear, of lack, of scarcity. I know, because I was one of them. I was that before, right? You start operating more so in alignment, more so aligned with your natural feminine essence, more. So you start to bring like, you start to operate more out of love, out of abundance, and less out of that fear, and because that's a low frequency. When womb healing is also you merging with your higher self. Do you guys know that? It's you merging with the higher version of yourself. We don't just get rid of fibroids. It's so much deeper than just getting rid of fibroids, right? It's about changing your entire life, transforming your entire life, and your experiences in this life. Because you only get one that we know of. You only get one. So, and after this, we die. So why won't you take everything that you can to make this a positive experience while you're on this earthly realm? Okay. So also too, your creativity starts to return, right? As women, like, we're naturally creative. So a lot of women, when they're stuck with a responsibility, with bills, with this, with work, they start to neglect their creative side. But that's important. The womb is a creative organ. You have to tap back into that. And what fibroids represent is blocked creativity. Okay? So it starts to return that creativity, right? You start to move from, do you believe we can treat fibroids? Mrs. Murdoch, have you been here the whole time? Are you just coming in? You coming in the tails and in the live? Are you just coming in? Okay? Let me know that, because you're late. Okay, so what I want you to do, I'm going to put the replay on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, okay? So that you can watch the whole entire live. I have hundreds of live streams. My whole platform is about getting rid of fibroids naturally. Literally my whole platform, okay? That's what I help women do. I've been helping. I was just talking about my client that went from a football size fibroid, and now the last time she checked, her fibroid was 6 centimeters, okay? So be sure to also subscribe to my email list, okay, as well. Now, so I want to say that, like, you start to, like I said, you start to tap back into your creativity when you actually are healing your womb. Because again, we don't just heal our womb physically, we also heal our wombs energetically. We also heal the emotional patterns that cause these issues. It's not just, it's deeper than just physical waste. Fibroids is also emotional blockages. You got to start working through that and healing that. Those things that you suppressed, that you either you suppressed or that you're constantly wearing, you have to start to release it. Okay? That's important. So I want to say this to you as well. Your body is very powerful. Everything is connected, physically and emotionally and energetically. Your body is very powerful. So what happens energetically happens physically. So this is why when you're feeling your lowest, when you're overwhelmed, when you're stressed out, this is why you get sick. Okay? So when we have fibroids, there's a lot of toxicity we've been harboring for a while, not just physically, also emotionally as well. So that has to be addressed and worked through. Okay? So I say all that to say we're going to dive deeper into this and actually how to work through this and release it in my 3-day workshop on this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're also going to talk about how to eliminate fibroids. So women that are serious about shrinking their fibroids before 2026, you want to be in this workshop. You want to be in this workshop on Friday, Saturday. It's November 7th through to Sunday. It's going to be at 12 p.m. through 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be via Zoom. Wherever you are in the world, as long as you have Wi-Fi, you can come. However, you do have to register, and it is $200. That's the early bird fee, okay? We also have Klarna Afterpay at checkout for those that want to utilize that, all right? So after tomorrow, the early bird price goes to $297. That's the regular price. All right, so I don't see any questions. Understand and know that your body is very powerful. Your body can heal, but you need to actually get out of its way. Your body is a self-healing mechanism. You have to get out of this way. What does that mean? That means that the body has to feel safe enough to heal. You have to give the body what it needs in order to heal. You cannot put in toxicity, negative emotions, hold on to negative emotions, and expect your body to heal tumors. It's not going to happen, okay? So we have to actually get to the root of the issue. We can't just think that one herb will heal us, or, and we don't have to do anything else. That's not true, okay? So I say all that to say, right, there is a protocol to getting rid of fibroids, getting to the root cause of the problem, and staying fibroid free. I've been fibroid free for at this point, well over 10 years, almost 15 years. Okay, so, and I've helped many, many women also become free of fibroids. That's why I love what I do. We heal wombs over here, but we also improve the quality of women's lives. Because there's no way when you have fibroids that your life is like, hey, that's a reflection of what's going on in your life as well. So when you have fibroids, there's a lot of emotional stuff that we're hanging on to. You're going to be dealing with overwhelm. You're going to see a lot of overwhelm in your life, a lot of stress in your life, a lot of stagnation in your life. You're also going to see a lot of, there's going to be unfulfillment, whether it's in your relationships, whether it's in your job. It's going to be hard for you to move forward, because that creativity, that womb is there's blockages in there, right? That womb, your womb is also your sacred feminine organ. You got to keep that healed. You got to keep it healthy. You cannot, right, think that, you cannot just continue to allow fibroids to grow in your womb, allow this heavy. Thank you for the gift, Miss Burdock. You cannot allow like all of this toxicity to continue to harbor in your womb. You can't, because when we're dealing with a womb that's dealing with toxicity, that's dealing with fibroids, like I always say, is a full body issue. Okay, it's not just a uterine issue. It's a full body issue. The body is, like I said, in a compromised state. It's not in good health. All right, so be sure to join our workshop if you haven't already, and I hope to see you there. If you haven't joined our email list, get on our email list. If you're watching from TikTok, if you're watching from YouTube, the link is in my description box. If you're watching from TikTok, the link is in my bio to join the email list. Okay, when you join the email list, you get the 7-day fibroid healing series. Get on the email list, all right? Also, watch the replay on YouTube. Because YouTube, I think, was messing up in the beginning. If the replay is not good, what I'll do is I'll put the replay from here and I'll put it on YouTube, okay? So if you haven't watched the rest of our live, if you want to watch the replay, all of our replays, go to the live section of our YouTube. We have tons of content on there. Tons. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.